I'll be a baby chihuahua. Do you know what? I think I would be a chihuahua.
Well, it's good to see she's back to normal. So it's been about 2 weeks since the big incident with Elphaba. I'm sure you know by this point, but if you don't, she basically held a kitchen utensil to her neck. She did it live in front of thousands of people, including children, and you would think that would be the point of no return. And granted, to be fair, that is wishful thinking, especially when it comes to Elphaba, but you would at least hope that something changes. Unfortunately, I'm gonna be real, we are wrong on both counts. There was initially a glimmer of hope, you know, she said she was going to therapy.
Have found a source to get therapy. So, first session done. Really good so far. Really good so far. I've really enjoyed it.
And listen, under normal circumstances, this could only be a positive development. But by this point in the Elphaba life cycle, we know better. We know so much better. Generally, when somebody says something, they normally mean it. When it comes to Elphaba, it's the opposite. She does not mean basically anything she says. On the front of therapy, we have basically tangible proof from the past that she doesn't mean what she says. Like, for example, when she said she was getting private therapy, but in the end, she came home with a bag of Haribos. And beyond that, the countless time that she said she has booked private therapy already. As we now know, none of this happened in the past, so really it would be smart to assume that the same is true now. But she has come on live and spoken about her experience with a therapist, and to be honest, it's worse than you could probably imagine.
And, excuse me, and she said, people prey on your downfall, don't they? And I was like, yeah, they do. They do prey on my downfall.
To play devil's advocate straight off the bat, this is what Elphaba would say to Elphaba. You know what? So far, it's not that egregious, so we're gonna have to hear her out, really.
They're like, she was like, from my perspective, they are very jealous of you. And why are they so obsessed with you posting you on their page? And I was like, that's a good point. Like, why are they posting me on their page?
Now, I don't even need to play devil's advocate here. She has committed multiple crimes against humanity. We've covered basically everything in these videos over the past 6 months. So there's a few outcomes here. 1, your therapist is lying. 2, your therapist isn't real. Or 3, your therapist has no idea who you are or what you've done. At this point, I'm genuinely gravitating towards number 2. You know what? Again, we're only 2 clips in, so really, I'll keep an open mind.
And they're like, just ignore them. And I was like, yeah. Then we had a night out.
Wait, let's just see if I heard that right. Say that again.
Then we had a night out.
So Elphaba claims she went on a night out with her therapist after 1 or 2 sessions. If it wasn't blatant enough before, I think we might have a pretty good picture now. Elphaba's therapist, more than likely, is not real. A lot of people that leave comments know more about this than me, but just to make sure I'm not crazy, right? A therapist cannot go on a night out with a patient. You can come to that conclusion with logic, but I'm also pretty sure, like, you just cannot do that. I think we've narrowed it down to 2 outcomes. Either Elphaba's therapist is not real, or Elphaba's therapist is just some random bloke she found on the street. I don't know what's funnier, to be honest, but luckily for us, she did keep on going.
You know what I mean? It's just, do you know what? It makes no sense to me in a sense, but maybe people like watching me, I don't get it. Maybe there's some sort of secret likeness to me. Maybe I'm relatable or something. I don't know. But
I mean, I've explained it before, really, but people that watch you because you are a mess. That's maybe the nice way of putting it as well. Bystanders don't watch a building on fire because they're jealous of the people inside. They watch it because there's a morbid curiosity, and your track record proves that you are 1 stream away from doing something terrible. So with that in mind, people watch and they wait for you to do something terrible. It's actually been a while, so I don't realise how she hasn't grasped this yet, but we're getting there, you know, so hopefully a fake therapist can help her.
And it says more, and I'll be very truthfully, your behaviour tells me a lot about you as a person, right? So, if these people want to come at me and bully me, right? It says a lot about them as a person.
I'm 12 and this is deep. I mean, in fairness, the people that go on her streams and tell her to do terrible things, they've got some problems. They are arguably as bad, but I don't necessarily think that any rational person would disagree with that. Grouping everybody under this umbrella, though, that is where the problem comes in, because people that hold you accountable aren't bullying you. There's a massive difference, but unfortunately, that doesn't suit Elphaba. But you know what? It's okay, because Elphaba did have some wisdom to bestow on us.
And it's like, I just don't like fake people. I don't like fake people. I think if you've been watching me for a while, you can probably tell I don't like fake bitches. That's how I work.
What a rare opinion from Elphaba. I think generally, people don't like fake people. I don't think that's a controversial thing to say, but it's Elphaba wisdom, to be fair. Where would we be without it?
It just tells me what kind of person you are. Not a very nice person, sadly. And I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to be a part of that evilness that you bestow upon me. I don't want that. Cheers to that.
I can only imagine that there's straight vodka in that Coke can, but you know what, with that said, we'll move on. If you thought her lying about going to therapy was bad, what you're about to see is terrifyingly worse. I don't normally get shaken, but this has scared me. So all I can really say is brace yourself, to be honest.
Do you know what I was thinking about doing something? I was contemplating doing it, but I don't know if I should do it. Should I do an OF or something?
Now, I've got no real way of confirming this, but I think I might speak for everybody when I say that you shouldn't do this. For our sakes, granted, but also for your sake. I mean, there's this TikToker called Luke Bennett. He recently opened an OnlyFans. This was kind of his response to falling off properly. And really, it's just made everything so much worse for him, in my opinion. Maybe everybody else disagrees with me, though. Comment down below if you want Elphaba to open an OnlyFans. I'm doing this for me, really. I just need to see that people are on the same page as me. Because she is serious about this, and she kept going on.
I don't know why, but like, I just feel like a lot of men will subscribe to that. Like, hidden men, they're like secretly like, because I get so, no, I'm not even kidding you. Like, I get DMs that I don't want, of people like wanting my body, but they're like, but they're not interested in like a relationship. If the men want me, then they can pay. You know, maybe I could do that, I don't know.
I don't know who's putting these ideas in her head. Maybe a fake therapist, to be fair. But this is a path that other creators have trodden in the past. And I say creators in massive quotation marks. But people like Elphaba that need attention like it's crack. I mean, when a fall off happens, you will do anything to get that attention. And I'm not gonna lie, Elphaba, that might be the worst form of crack. So definitely don't do it, but at the same time, it's a free world. And honestly, by the amount of time she spent talking about it, I would guess that this is actually gonna happen at some point.
So if I was like to do an OF, it would give me so much more confidence in myself, I guess. Do you know what I mean? I know a few men in real life that would happily subscribe to it. I know for a fact. An OF creator said to me, if you create an OF, you will blow up. And I was like, really? And they were like, yeah, you will. Like, you'll become probably the top percent. I was like, no, I won't. No, I won't. No, I won't. It's like, they're like, you will. I'm like, no, I'm not.
And then she said you will, and then Elphaba said I won't, and then she said I will, and then Elphaba said I won't. Elphaba repeating herself will never get old, and with that said, I think it's probably better that we move on from this topic, because it's kind of time to get serious again. Elphaba went on to talk more about that situation 2 weeks ago, and you're going to be shocked at this, but she blamed basically everybody else again. You might have thought that she couldn't get worse, but I hate to break it to you, you were wrong. Very wrong, actually, and we should probably be used to this by this point.
Honestly. You could affect a lot of people. Well, in my and I'm just gonna say this very truthfully, it's the parents' fault for not monitoring your phones properly.
Yeah, so this is a crazy mentality to have, but I probably didn't need to tell you that. Granted, parents should like definitely monitor what their kids are doing online, but the idea that that should be 24 hours a day is mental, to be honest, and it doesn't even make sense. It's kind of like blaming the police for not like preempting a random attack on the street. Do we blame the police for not preempting that, or the crackhead for doing the attack? The answer to me is obvious, but I'm not sure Elphaba is gonna get that question right.
In my opinion, because when someone's in a manic episode and they don't think about what they're doing, and this is just trying to be really real with you, then they don't really give a fuck about what anything in the room or anything like that. And when I was being told to do that to myself countless times, especially someone on a live stream right there, I was in a manic episode. So it is the parents' responsibility to monitor the phones. It's TikTok's responsibility to ban the live stream. It's actually not my responsibility.
Yeah, so you see Elphaba's actions, they are definitely not her responsibility. It's our responsibility, so really we should be getting banned, not her. This, by the way, does require the massive leap of faith that she is actually having manic episodes. In the past, she's only lied about autism, Tourette's, and basically every other mental condition. But yeah, I'm sure this time she is actually telling the truth. Maybe the past doesn't mean anything or doesn't indicate anything going forward, so we'll see.
However, I did have some sort of responsibility in that live stream. I shouldn't have acted the way I did. However, when someone is in a manic episode, you cannot actually control it. You cannot control it. In real life, when you see me in a manic episode, you cannot control me. You can't tell me to calm down. I end up patching walls.
Yeah, so when you say like however or but in a sentence, it normally means just disregard everything said before it. That is definitely true here. She doesn't mean to take any accountability. She just wants to blame everybody else and just keep doing the exact same thing. And that's exactly what we're getting, because as we've now seen, nothing has changed. Not even her thought process, really. really, because she just keeps repeating the same thing over and over again.
I ended up waiting like almost 6 hours just for a diazepam and being told to go home. So, you know, I'm getting private therapy, and that's how we go for it now. But I just want to say that when someone's in a manic episode, everyone's responsibility, parents watching, in the responsibility. I think beforehand, if you've seen my live streams and you've seen me have meltdowns like everyone has, then you all should have that instinct to monitor your children's phones.
You hear that, single mum? You might be working 2 jobs to support your kid, but I don't actually care. You should be monitoring their phone 24/7. And if TikTok gives them my content, it's not my fault, it's yours. It is actually unbelievable that she's on live saying stuff like this, but I shouldn't expect anything else. Now, moving on from that, we'll have a look at what Elphaba is doing when she's not blaming everybody else.
Hello, I am your news today. If you are tuning in, I'm the unfiltered news source, if you want to watch news, and I give my opinions.
Unfiltered stuff on what's on the news. Maybe she is more like me than I thought. What's she going to talk about, like Jack Doherty or something?
Rishi Sunak has apologised today, and is offering compensation. Children were experimented on, given contaminated blood. These were children.
Well, not something I'd personally make a video on, but each of their own, I guess.
Has been confirmed cases of cow feces in your tap water and parasites in your tap water by the government.
Elphaba talking about parasites, that does give me a warm feeling of nostalgia. Take me back to the scabies era, man. Times were much simpler. But yeah, this does just kind of feel like she's fear-mongering to whoever is still listening, and it is a bit sad.
A woman in her 50s has been mauled to death by her own XL bully dogs at home in East London.
I mean, at this point, I am somehow more depressed than I started. Surely there's got to be something positive going on.
That's your daily news today. In your daily news day roundup, you're drinking human feces. There has been children experimented on like guinea pigs, given blood by the government that has HIV in it, and more than that, and ruined people's lives, and has killed over 30,000 people. So, in other news, we're f***ed as a nation.
Ironically, this is the most positive piece of content Elphaba has ever put out. Yeah, overall, it's a bit of a mess now, and I'm not actually sure how much longer these lies can go on for. I'm not thrilled about making Elphaba videos at this point, but the victim blaming does take it to a whole nother level, and the decline is happening whether we talk about it or not. So, in all honesty, just tell me what you think. I'd be very interested to know. The comments are always an interesting read. And with that said, I've got one more thing to show you.
I'm at you. When you fuck on my family, there is no going back. I will find you.
Like and sub, or Elphaba will probably find you.